life of agony. She falls from grace. There's no light. She tries to find a way out of the dark, guided by her heart. No thanks and glory, trapped in a story. Nothing I still see what she wants to be. A star on the sky. She wants to fly. She still tries, but break down and lies. But she's fallen down with a golden crown. She wants only glory, trapped in a story. Can you see the scars on her face? A life of agony. She falls from grace. There's no light. She tries to find a way out of the dark, guided by her heart. No thanks and glory.
Hey, all right, everybody. Welcome to the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show, the barbecue show on Talk Radio. We'll be going live in just a few minutes. Hello, Brian Jarvis from the Atlanta Barbecue Store. So glad you're with us. Birdmore, I will definitely have you on the show one night. That would be a great, great show, Brandon. We will get you on there. Jeffrey Neal Maxwell back at the house monitoring the chat. Brian Jarvis, you can watch his show on Monday nights live on Facebook at 8:30. We'll be going live 7 o'clock. Go ahead, Aaron. Let's call Talk Radio. You're watching the barbecue show live on Facebook, simulcasted to.
Hello.
Kurt?
Yeah, how's it going, man?
Hey, man, what's up?
Nothing much. Just hanging in here for Joe this week.
You did a great job last week.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. You're live on Facebook right now, too, I want to tell you.
Thanks.
So,
let me put you on hold real quick and make sure you can hear the station.
Absolutely. Do a test real quick. We cannot hear. So when he comes back, we will see.
Meets on Monday. President Trump
hear.
still showing no signs of being ready to concede. The FDA is expected to sign off shortly on Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. So how long will it be before most Americans can get it?
We can hear.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says probably sometime in the spring.
Hopefully they'll get similar types of results that Moderna and Pfizer did.
Kurt?
Thank you for your patience. Your call is very important to us. We will be with you shortly.
That's not what we want to hear. Aaron, go ahead and hang up. Let's hang up. Let's call him back. Okay. Right up there. There you go. We were doing so good.
Hey, sorry.
Hey, that's all right. Yeah, we could hear it.
Okay, good.
Remember during the commercial breaks to turn it down until until about 15 seconds left to go. Go ahead and call Trish now.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
You got about we got about 2.5 minutes.
Sounds good. Thanks, Kurt.
Awesome. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
For all the Facebook watchers, Our special guest is Trish Hines
Sunday,
from Tampa,
mostly
Florida.
sunny with a high near 60.
SASSY Barbecue.
And Sunday night, another round of showers with a low near 42. Monday, a 30% chance of morning showers.
Hey, Trish.
Becoming partly sunny with an afternoon high near 49.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
I can hear you just great.
The Barbecue Show with Steve Ray.
They're starting the show
by the Al's Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop
just
in
remember
Old
when
Quad
I'll
by
do
the
the show
historic
opening, and
9-volt
then
service
I'll
station
know
in
you'll
Old
be
Quad.
introduced.
By Michelin Tires, because so much is riding on your
You there?
And by
Oh,
all
if
the
you're
great
talking to me, I
barbecue
couldn't hear you.
products and supplies at the Al's
You have to listen while they're playing these
Supply and
ads
Pro Shop.
real closely.
I know you've got questions. We've got answers. So pick up the phone.
I will be introducing you shortly after a brief show opening.
1023, and let's talk some barbecue. The reviews have been read, and the verdict has been for value, ease of use, dependability, and great tasting food. The judges pick the.
You there, Trish?
Yep.
Okay, good. Now you can hear me. Yeah, I'll do a little show open, and then I will be introducing you and coming to you.
Okay, I'm just hanging out.
Sounds good. Bring your A game. Don't be bashful.
Yeah, thanks for the pressure, Steve. I'm bringing my A game.
Just pretend like you're talking to Dr. Barbecue.
Oh, okay.
But with respect.
Do what?
But with respect to me.
Oh, okay. Got you. Funny.
How's the weather there?
Not bad. Today was like 70s. And it's going to be a little warmer tomorrow. So I actually bought a rib roast to smoke tomorrow.
Oh,
from
good.
the recipe that I'm going to tell you that I'm using.
Oh, good.
I feel like I paid for Prime and they gave me choice, though.
Really? We will have to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
The difference and everything. That's a big deal now. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. But I have a receipt and the ticket from the wrapper, so.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you get it at?
Fresh Market.
Okay. Wow. The food boutique.
Yes, exactly.
The only place where you can go get a can of peanuts for $47.
But they're good peanuts.
They better be good peanuts.
They're fancy.
the best peanuts ever made.
I even special ordered it yesterday and spoke to the manager, so I don't know.
Well, just take pictures of it and say, this isn't Prime.
January 5th.
All right, 15 seconds.
We lose these 2 Senate seats. Guess who's casting the deciding vote in this country for our government? It will be Kamala Harris.
Talk Radio 102.3, WGOW-FM.
Common Sense Money Advice weekdays 1 to 3 with me, Dave Ramsey, on Talk Radio 102.3, WGOW-FM.
Talk Radio 102.3.
That's always hard to hear. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Barbecue Show. It's the weekend. It's time to start smoking and grilling here on the Barbecue Show, right here on Talk Radio 102.3. Also, right now on the Owl's Nest Facebook page. It's a barbecue simulcast every Friday night here at 7 o'clock in Chattanooga. Our number's 423-267-1023, 267-1023. If you want to jump on and ask some barbecue questions tonight, we would love to have you. You've got questions, we've got answers. Our broadcast partner is Backyard Smokers Barbecue on Facebook, the #1 destination for questions, answers, and even if you want to post some pictures and do a little bragging, go to Backyard Smokers Barbecue on Facebook page. Kurt back at the studio, manning the radio side. Aaron Carver is here in the Facebook Owl's Nest Barbecue studio, manning the Facebook side. And at his house is Jeff Maxwell monitoring the chat. So don't be afraid to engage with Jeff and talk while we are on the show in the Facebook chat room. We're in touch, so you be in touch too. Follow Owl's Nest Barbecue on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, all at Owl's Nest Barbecue. And you can get this show on the podcast starting tomorrow. We put it on the next day on a podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, you can hear the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show. 267-1023. Got a couple of things to talk about real quick before we go to our guest. First of all, Eddie Denham from Wildwood, Georgia, came up to the store today. I appreciate Eddie. He is I always like to, the farthest somebody drove to come to the store, and Eddie won today, all the way from Wildwood, Georgia. He picked up a bunch of stuff, and I appreciate Eddie and all the good folks down in Wildwood, Georgia. That's horse country here in the Chattanooga area. Tomorrow, it's Saturday, at the store at the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop, we're having a unveiling of a new barbecue sauce. We just got it in. I'm holding it up for everybody on Facebook. On radio, you can't see it, but it's called Hog Feathers Barbecue Sauce. Hog Feathers Barbecue Sauce. We will have free samples of barbecue with Hog Feathers Barbecue Sauce starting tomorrow at 10:30. I did 2 big old pork butts yesterday, and we're going to heat them up in the morning and get them out there. So come by. It's going to be a kind of a rainy day, so there's nothing else to do. No reason. We got plenty of room inside. Come on in, and we'll just sample barbecue. You can look at everything we've got. We'll talk barbecue, and we'll just have a big time at the store at 10:30. Also, starting this week, we'll be taking orders for our prime ribs for Christmas. The Owl's Nest Barbecue team, Frank Blair and I, will be smoking standing rib roast, 4-bone rib roast. They're going to be 9 pounds. We'll feed 10 to 12 people. They are $150 each. Now, I know, that's a lot of money, but I just checked the prices on the prime rib here in Chattanooga. It's $14.95. So if you get a 9-pound ribeye, that's 4 bones about, that's $150 in meat right there, not even cooked yet. So you can get the same thing from Frank and I for $150 already cooked. And I promise you it's going to be good, because our next guest, who's going to be here in just a moment, is going to tell us how to cook it, and I'm going to be taking notes. Text me at 423-593-6588 if you're interested in ordering one, or simply go to the Owl's Nest Barbecue Facebook page, and you can order there to get in touch with us. Tomorrow at the Chattanooga Market, and that's at the Trade Center, the last market of the year. They have the Lodge Cast Iron Bake-Off. If you have never seen a live chef competition, go to the trade show, to the Trade Center, and see the show tomorrow at the Chattanooga Market. The chefs will be Micah Adams from Slicks Burgers, Kenyatta Ashford from Neutral Ground, Nick Geller from the Walden Club, and J.R. Crutcher from Cafe at the Corner. The 4 of those guys will be battling it out in the Lodge Cast Iron Bake-Off. That's from 11 till 3. And one of the judges is our very own Frank Blair. Frank Blair, the most popular man in Chattanooga, will be there judging the cast iron Lodge Cast Iron Bake-Off, and that's going to be an exciting time. If you've never seen it, head down there. It is very, very interesting. You will really enjoy it. It's very exciting. You'll be able to get real close to the chefs while they're cooking, and you'll see some real professionalism in store. All right, without no more waiting, we're going to go to our guest right now. She is from Tampa, Florida, and she is the creator of Sassy Q's Rubs and Sausage. My friend, and your new friend right here in Chattanooga, Trish Hines. Trish, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Steve.
How are things?
How are y'all doing in Chattanooga?
We were talking earlier. You said it was 70 degrees in Tampa. It was 70 degrees here today.
I know.
It's crazy. It's insane.
Oh, you're kidding.
I love it. Oh, you know, I tell everybody, that's why everybody moves down here. Welcome to the South, y'all. You know what I mean? Barefoot.
Break out the flip-flops.
Yeah, flip-flops and barefoot on December the 11th. All right, let's get the...
there you go.
Now, I know this story, Trish, but I want you to tell it. I want you to tell everyone about the history of Sassy's Q barbecue sauce and the kind of the sketchy past that your family has not necessarily in Florida, but from where you're from?
Oh, easy, Steve, easy. Come on now.
It's a good story.
So
Come on.
the story, it is a good story, and there's a lot of truth in that story. I just can't tell you exactly where. I do have a lot of family from North Carolina. That's where my father was from. And the story goes is that my great-grandfather was part of the moonshining industry and ran the shine, and it made its way into the sauce at the time. And, I have my secret ingredients. I can't talk about that. And I understand that there's still probably some of them out there.
But so so your great-grandfather was most likely part of one of the early NASCAR meetings, maybe?
Very possibly, because they are all from the Hamlet, Rockingham area, which is known for their racing over there.
Taking 40 model Fords and dropping Cadillac engines in them, and beefing up the suspension, and run all night. Runners.
True. And I have been known to have a lead foot myself, so maybe it's hereditary.
How many points on your driver's license?
Actually, I've been good.
You're
None
pointless?
in quite a while.
That's good. You're pointless. That's good. That's good. That's a good way to be.
Yeah, they just haven't found me.
They can't catch you.
Can't catch me.
That's the problem. All right, how did you? Let's talk about first. Let's talk about the barbecue resume. How did you start and get an interest in barbecue and cooking?
Well, I'm originally from Memphis, so we all know Memphis and barbecue. So years ago, I had gotten active in the Memphis in May World Championships. I was an ambassador. I've competed, and I went to the judges' school over 20 years ago. I figured, well, if I'm going to do this, I want to judge. And that's just kind of where it's all started. I've traveled around to lots of different competitions. I'm actually going to be getting active in the Florida Barbecue Association coming first of the year, so I'm looking forward to that. But the sauces just kind of came from that. I've judged the best of the best, I think. And it's just kind of a compilation of what I didn't like, what I wanted to see, and that's where it started.
So when you were doing judging,
and it all started with the original sauce.
When you were judging the Memphis Barbecue Network, who was the it's a strange way to judge barbecue, because they've got to sell you on their barbecue when you go through the interview process. Who was your most memorable interview during the judging process in the Memphis Barbecue Network?
I would say the most entertaining was definitely the Shed family.
Okay.
When Brad Orson presents that whole hog, and they're a great family, very entertaining. I think that's probably the most memorable. There's been many.
His mother is in the Clown Hall of Fame. Did you know that?
I do know that. I do know that. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I get it. I mean, if you've met him, then you get
it. I believe that. So let's talk about the sauce. We carry all your products at the store, the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop. I've got one right here. I'm holding it up for everybody to see, and if you can't see it on radio, too bad. Sassy Q sauce. I've got the vinegar all natural, the South's finest. It's a great sauce. It's a big seller at the store. Tell us how you got into that, because that's a unique industry, and it's a tough industry to be in.
Well, I started making my own sauces at home. I got interested in maybe trying to see the public reaction to it. And I think if you're wanting to do that and sell your own products, the best place to go is the farmer's market, because you've got all your locals coming by, and you don't have to worry about the cost of production that, to make it acceptable for a grocery store, like what I'm doing now. My husband and I had happened to go to one of the cooking schools that Myron Nixon had. And this was like 2013, or 13 or 14. And I took some of my sauces to Myron, and he tasted it, and he told me, you need to start selling it. So that's kind of where it all started. Now, I can't get in touch with Myron to get an endorsement on my website, but if you're listening, Myron, I'm still waiting.
Good luck with that. He's not
I know.
He's not going to sign up to his direct competition, that's for sure. So you've got you've got 3 sauces, and what are they now? I've got the vinegar one here. What are the other 2?
We have the original, the spicy, which are both more tomato based, and then the vinegar,
and
which is my personal favorite.
And the rubs you've got are?
We have SASSY Sweet Rub, which is a huge seller, the Island Rub, and my newest product, which you don't have on your shelf, which is SASSY Honey Jalapeno, which came out at the end of October, and it's really doing well in sales. I'm really proud of that one, too.
Well, we put some of the honey jalapeno on some chicken wings the other day, and the samples that you were nice enough to send me, and it's a home run. Let me tell you, we will be getting them.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm out of room right now. I don't have any more room. I've got to move things around, but we'll be getting your line because it's great stuff, and like I say, they sell well. People they like the name of it too, SASSY. They say I like that, the SASSY barbecue sauce. And then they go over there. It
just kind of named itself.
Yeah, I can see where the name got it from. Let's talk real quick.
And actually, in the spring, hopefully February to March, I have a new steak rub that should be coming out as well.
That's big now.
So
isn't it?
That's big.
The steak thing is big.
It's still in the test kitchen. I'm kicking it around a little more before I send it to production.
Now, have you competed in any of the steak contests?
I have not. I think that is next on my list.
Mm-hmm. Because they are the thing that is really driving the bus right now. A lot of people jumping from barbecue to steak, and the number of steak rubs that are coming onto the market. I had a fellow drive all the way up from the Huntsville, Alabama area today, and he brought me, I think, 5 different steak rubs from people in his area wanting to start marketing them for us to kind of test.
Yeah.
And that's kind of neat when you have a store, when you have a store, people bring you things, say, try this. And
I have a lot of people who send me things too, and I'm flattered that they ask me to try their products, and I do. I love it. It's great.
I spoke online with Georgia Chasen earlier today, and she said you had sent her some of your products for her to try. That was really nice of you, I thought.
Hey, Steve, I did.
Say what, Kurt?
Before we get to that answer, we need to go ahead and hit our first break, if that's all right.
You got it. We got to go for a quick break. Trish, you hang on. You're watching the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show, the barbecue show here on Talk Radio. Our special guest is Trish Hines from Tampa, Florida, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. All right. Good first segment, Trish.
Cool.
You did good. It goes by so
what
fast.
counts almost as much as the thought? The price.
It does go by fast.
Just kidding.
Merry Christmas.
Talk Radio 102.3.
These breaks last about 2.5 minutes, maybe 3, and then we'll be back on.
Okay.
We can talk.
Okay.
We can talk here during the commercial break. What's the plans? What is Christmas in Tampa? For everybody watching on Facebook, what is Christmas in Florida like?
Warm.
Other than
well,
it's like I'm interviewing Rob Bagby.
Thank you.
Warm.
I'm anxious to meet Rob. He'll be. I know he's in the Florida Barbecue Association.
Yes,
he's one of the people I'm really looking forward to meeting.
You will enjoy him immensely. He is a great guy.
I feel like we'll get along.
Oh, you will. He's I think he's in Colorado right now. But he is.
Oh, good for him.
He is a smart man. I went to his school. I guess it's 4 or 5 years now. He had a school in Calhoun, Georgia. He drove up, and it was right. It wasn't too long after his appearance on Barbecue Pitmasters. I don't know. Did you see that? Did you watch any of those?
I did not.
Okay. He cooked against Lene Oxley and Jeff Vanderlinde in one of the episodes, and they had to cook barbecued meatloaf. And of course, Lene Oxley, who she can cook anything because she's cooked everything. She made a great meatloaf, and Jeff was really struggling with it, and Rub was really struggling with it, and of course Lene won, and she went on to.
I'm a fan of hers.
She's great. She's fantastic. And I went down when I saw Rub and the guys. They were hanging out early, and I went down to the tent that Rub had set out, because God forbid he pay the extra $25 to get the pavilion, So we're under the tent, and I walked down there and I said, "Is this the barbecue school?" And he said something like something smart like, "Well, if it's not, we're all in the wrong place," or something like that. And then I said, "Well, I hope you don't show us how to make barbecue meatloaf," and that shut him up right then. That shut him up right then.
I'll bet it did.
He said, "Okay, this guy watches television."
Oh, funny.
So that's my funny rub back.
Funny.
And I've told him that to his face too. So, and he laughed.
Good.
How's the real estate business? Everybody watching?
Per gallon bonus on your first tank.
Okay,
That's
75
cents per gallon on your next tank. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift for Amazon and other brands. Earn cash back on gas on every fill-up. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code FALL. That's FALL.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Welcome back to the Barbecue Show here on Talk Radio 102.3 WGOW. Our guest tonight is Trish Hines from Tampa, Florida. She is the Sassy of Sassy Q's Barbecue Industries, makers of sauces and rubs. And we're going to be talking prime rib here in just a moment, so stay tuned, and because you don't want to miss this. But first, what is the backyard setup, Trish, at Sassy Q worldwide headquarters in Tampa? What kind are we on the patio? How many cookers have you got? Things of that sort.
We are on the patio currently. We have our large green egg.
Mm-hmm.
I, of course, have my big Traeger. I'm also a social ambassador for Traeger, in case you didn't know. I'm in the market for a new one. We had a backwoods smoker. It was the party size, the stand-up party size. I missed that one, but I'm looking for something different. And my husband and I cannot decide what we want.
You want
but we're working on it.
A water cooker, maybe?
Maybe. We talked about gravity fed. I don't know.
Well, just keep that.
I do want to try one of the Gorilla Grills that Tina Cannon likes.
Yeah, that's a good line.
I'm going to try one of those
pellet smokers. Now we're going after the first of the year. Now listen, after the first of the year, we're going to be the retailer here in Chattanooga for Southern Q gravity smokers. Scott Smith, Scott Smith is going. He's building them right now.
All right.
And we'll be going down this week to pick them up. So we'll hook you up.
Okay.
I cook with one of those.
We're in.
That's my competition cooker, the Limo Junior. And it does. Matter of fact, that's what we're doing the prime ribs when we have our big prime rib cook. That you're going to start helping me out with right now, because we talked about turkeys before Thanksgiving, and do you think the pressure is big when you're doing the Thanksgiving turkey? That's nothing like when you're doing the Thanksgiving prime rib, because you're talking a $20 bird versus $150 to $200 piece of meat.
Right.
That if it screws up, everybody's going to hate your guts. So Trish, let's start from the beginning. When you're shopping for a prime rib, what do you look for? Size, which type? Go through the entire Sassy Q barbecue. I'm looking for a prime rib right now.
Okay. When I'm looking for a prime rib, I always want the bone on. I don't want the boneless. I think, I know a lot of people want the boneless rib roast, which is also called the rolls roast, because they think that heat is more evenly distributed when you cook. I prefer the bone on. and I say the bone on, but I will have it cut off and tied back on. So you actually have your little resting rack when the meat is cooking. So that's my big thing, bone on. How many people are you going to feed? They say one bone will cover 2 people. I'm never going to buy less than a 2-bone roast just because I just want it to cook better. And there's always going to be leftovers, and you don't want to just have one piece of prime rib and then not have any more if you've gone to all that trouble to cook it. So I actually yesterday purchased a 3-bone prime rib, which should feed up to 7 people. I'm sure my neighbors will be available. So I want that. And then I also want the prime cut of the prime rib, or the prime grade of the prime rib, not the choice, because I want that extra heavy marbling.
And
so you keep the moisture in the meat.
And where does that come from on the a prime rib is 8 bones, and is that from the middle of the piece of meat?
Right. You should have that lovely little circle of fat in the middle of the roast that encircles the center, and that's what you're really looking for. The fat cap, I like to have the fat cap trimmed. If you insist on keeping the fat cap, then I think you should at least score it, because when you put whatever you're going to put on the outside of the prime rib to make your crust, you want that flavor to get into the meat.
Okay. So now tell me, explain the difference between the choice, the prime, and if you've ever dealt with any Wagyu, explain that as well.
Well, it's all about the marbling. The prime has more marbling, the choice has less, and then the Wagyu is just like marbling heaven. I can't imagine what a prime rib Wagyu would be costing right now. That's an investment. So you better know what you're doing if you want to buy that one.
Yeah, how nervous would you be cooking that thing? Ooh.
Very, very.
So you bought a 3-bone today. That's right. Isn't that what you said? A 3-bone?
I bought 3 bones.
Okay. And what kind did you get?
It's 7 pounds.
7 pounds. Okay.
7 pounds.
And you bought
that should take me about 2.5 hours on the smoker. I got it. Can I say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I bought that at Fresh Market.
Yeah. Let's don't get ahead of ourselves now. We're cooking it. And you bought it where now?
I got it at Fresh Market.
Okay. Did you have to order it, or did they have it?
I called ahead to make sure that they had the prime grade. I guess with all the craziness going on in the world right now, they've had a lot of problems getting the types of meat that we're looking for. So before I showed up in the store and said, hey, I want you to cut this, I wanted to make sure that they had what I wanted. And as we get closer to Christmas, if the stores don't have it now, then they'll begin to get in soon. So I was a little ahead of the game as far as Christmas and prime rib, but I wanted to be able to smoke one tomorrow to follow up with the recipe that I'm going to give you tonight.
Oh, okay. So this is like practice. The practice.
Yes,
prime
it
rib.
is.
Boy, it's not as cheap as practicing chicken wings, is it?
I know.
Now, how much was that prime? How much was that prime 3-bone 7-pound prime rib from the Fresh Market Food Boutique?
It was $120.
$120 for 7 pounds.
Yes.
Now I don't have my calculator. Aaron, my associate here, my producer, director of the Facebook side, is he's scrambling for his calculator. A nifty $17.
Well, I rounded. It was $119 and change.
Yep, $17.14 a pound. So.
When they had the choice, prime rib was on sale for $8.99 a pound. So, oops.
That much difference?
Yeah. Well, they have it on sale. I don't know what it is regularly, but it was just a special that they had for the choice.
That's pretty cheap, though, $8.99 a pound.
I know.
Hey, did they have a good selection? I mean, did they have them all out in the case, or was it not many yet?
No, you had to ask for it. Okay. They had one that was sitting there.
And that
was just more of a display.
That's probably yours,
one. Probably.
They teased everybody with yours. Said, "Don't you wish you could buy this?"
I'm not convinced that mine had all the marbling that it should have had.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit.
We'll see. Well, I ordered the prime grade prime rib, and I was told that they had a little bit left. So they put that one aside for me, and I said, I'll be there by 12 o'clock today. I was there at 11:15, and they had it labeled. They already had my name on it. They had the price on it, and it said choice. And I was like, no, hang on. So I got the explanation that, oh, no, this is yours. It was a mistake, and I took a look at it. I have my receipt and the price tag, so if I need to go and have a chat later with someone there, then I will.
Yeah, next time when you go in
we
there,
will move forward.
Yeah, they probably know you at Fresh Market. You're probably a patron because they're like the like Augusta National. They're not members. They're members, but when they have guests, they're called patrons. And that's the way I feel when I go into Fresh Market. I'm a patron, not a customer. So they might have to look at you may have to do like they do in the Steak Cook-Off Association. Take a picture in there with you and say, look, Herb, this is what a prime ribeye looks like. And
Listen,
this is what,
I do have my photos.
Yeah.
I was preparing my dry brine earlier, and I took those pictures, so I'm on that.
Oh, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that conversation. That would be a good one. They go, oh no, here comes that blonde-headed lady. Look out.
Oh Lord, it's her.
Yeah, no kidding. Make sure they put their knives down. Okay, when you let's see. I don't want to start we've only got a minute before the next break. Real quick, before we're going to go back to the prime rib after the break, but real quick, in a minute, what is your favorite thing to smoke, Trish, of all the proteins? What is your go-to thing?
I honestly, it's going to go to a pork shoulder. I think that's my favorite thing.
Okay.
Yeah, if I don't have time to do shoulder, but.
So just the standard what we know is all American pork barbecue.
It is because, yeah, it's just so good.
Well, being from Memphis,
it's just one of my favorites.
I'm assuming that you're being from Memphis. That's the number one protein there is pork. That's what Memphis Barbecue Network's all about. MBN is Memphis in May. It's all about the pork.
Absolutely.
Not a lot of beef.
I can't accommodate a whole hog, so I'll have to settle for a shoulder or a butt.
Well, that's everybody's.
I think a brisket would be next in line.
That sounds good. Hey, we're going to take a real quick break. When we come back here on the Barbecue Show with Trish Hines, we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of the prime rib cook. So stay with us. The Barbecue Show is brought to you by the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop in Ottawa, and we'll be right back. All right, you're sounding great now, Trish.
Oh, thanks.
It takes a while.
I really want to know about those gravity-fed smokers too.
Have you never cooked on one?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you'll love it. It's like cooking on a pellet cooker. It's a big pellet cooker. That's all it is. And the pellet cookers are charcoal. Instead of using pellets, you burn charcoal. You load the charcoal in a chimney, and you light it from the bottom. And as the charcoal burns, it drips embers down into a tray, and you put wood chunks in the tray. And it ignites the wood chunks, and the smoke goes into the cook chamber, and that's where you get your smoke flavor. So you can be doing a contest. You can say, I'm going to start with oak, and then I'm going to move to pecan and finish it off with cherry, or you can put pecan and cherry in there together, or you can just go with a single wood, because all you have to do is have wood chunks, and they're readily available at Publix. I've got them in my store from cookingwoods.com, and it's a great product.
I think Lowe's has them too.
Yeah, and you control it with a barbecue guru. It's got a fan and a thermostat that you buy that goes on it, so you set it and forget it. I
have a guru.
So what?
I do have a guru.
Yeah, well then you're halfway there.
Yeah. We used to have a huge David Close smoker, you know, who is from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a 1,000-pound cooker.
Yeah.
And we had moved to another home in Florida that where the backyard couldn't accommodate that huge smoker, so we sold it. But we missed that smoker. It was awesome.
I've got a big Myron mixing water cooker, 48-inch, and there's nothing I love more than dragging that out and using it. I love it. I love cooking on it. It's like cooking on a Ferrari. It is. It is. It is so.
I'm sure Myron would love to hear you say that.
Oh, I've told him about it. I mean, I actually bought it from him when he was at an Ace Hardware here in Chattanooga last year, and
oh, nice.
It is. It's just unbelievable. But in the gravity feed, you can get a water pan, and you can utilize water as well in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've ever the Backwoods. Does it have a water pan? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know the benefits of cooking with water are just, you know, you can cook so high, you can cook so fast, and the meat still turns out great.
And don't forget to fill the pan.
That's right. You got to make it.
That can get ugly.
You do have to make a checklist. That's for sure.
You do.
But that's all we do. It's all we do in barbecues, make checklists. Let's see who has joined us.
That's true.
Tom Ide has joined us. We appreciate you listening, Tom. They're all trading. They're trading recipes. Steve Hamilton is on. Thanks, Steve, for watching tonight. Appreciate it. He may be a friend of yours.
Hey, that's my brother.
Yeah, I was going to say. Al Selvage is listening. Yep. Of course, Al's a good man. One of my all-time favorite people. Bird Moore, we already said hi to him. Cam Day's listening. Cam, how you doing? We'll get Elk Creek in there. We're gonna get some more room. I think I'm gonna have to build another building. I hope my wife's not listening.
I have a feeling she knows it's coming.
I tell you what, this barbecue store is just something.
Has absolutely opened my mind.
It's been great. All right, we got about 15 seconds.
Free Talk Live, weeknights 8 to 10, Saturday nights 7 to 10, on Talk Radio 102.3 WGOW FM.
The most important appointment you'll have this week, the time you take to listen to us. Talk Radio 102.3 WGOW FM. Talk Radio 102.3.
Welcome back to the Barbecue Show, brought to you by the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop in Ottawa. Tomorrow morning at 10:30, we will be introducing our newest rub, Hog Feathers Barbecue Sauce. I'm sorry, our newest sauce, Hog Feathers Barbecue Sauce. Free barbecue tomorrow at the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop. Come on by. I've got two big old butts that we'll be reheating tomorrow. Come by and we'll fix you a little slider, and you can try this new sauce, and you will like it. 10:30 in the morning. Our special guest tonight is Trish Hines from Tampa, Florida. She is Sassy Q Barbecue. We're talking prime rib. We've bought the prime rib at Fresh Market. All right, Trish, now we're taking it home, and we're going to put it on the grill. Tell me what kind of grill you're going to put it on, what temperature you're going to cook it at, what you're going to do to this 3-bone standing rib roast to get it ready.
Okay, well, I've already started. I did the dry brine with the kosher salt.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great thing to dry brine your meat the night before.
Now explain dry brining. Explain dry brining, because everybody knows what brining is, but explain the dry brine.
Okay, dry brining is just simply putting a layer of kosher salt over the meat. The salt penetrates the meat. It helps it retain its moisture. Don't go too heavy of a layer with your salt, because you don't want to wind up with a piece of salty meat.
Mm-hmm.
So I put a nice layer, didn't go too heavy. I wrapped it in plastic, and it's sitting in the fridge right now. So when I take it off tomorrow morning, or whenever, a couple of hours or so before I decide I'm going to start the smoker, I'm going to clean the rest of the salt off and get it ready for the paste that I'm going to put on it.
Okay. Now I hope we get this paste recipe, because I haven't done paste yet.
Well, I call it a paste. A lot of people like to just simply rub it down with some olive oil and chop up some fresh herbs like rosemary, thyme, parsley, that kind of stuff. I'm personally not a fan. I love rosemary. I don't want to use it in that capacity. So actually what I'm going to do is do a butter wrap. I'll take 2 sticks of butter, let them get to room temperature, and then I'm going to mix in my salt and pepper. I'm going to crush some fresh garlic. I haven't decided. I'm probably going to put in my new steak ribs and then just coat it with that. I think when you do that, whether you use butter as a paste or a coating or not, be sure and butter the ends of your rib roast. Mm-hmm. Everybody kind of forgets about those, and because those are going to be the more done ends of your roast, and it helps keep the moisture in that.
Yeah, they dry out.
So that's what I'm going to do.
So you're going to have. So you're actually going to have that paste on there.
Yes, I will have that on
idea.
there. I'm going to let it sit. Yeah. Anything with butter, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
it's got to be good.
I know.
A lot of people use mustard and then put their spices in there. I would use a coarse mustard if you prefer to do that. Blend your spices in and then coat your roast with that. I will be putting it on the smoker. I will put it on at 250.
Which one?
The Traeger tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll be using the Traeger.
Which is a pellet smoker.
I'll put it on it, and I'll tell you why. Because I want to do a reverse sear at the end, and it's going to be a lot more easy for me to control the temperature with the Traeger than, say, if I did it on the green egg and did it that way.
Okay.
So that is my plan.
So
I will always cook to temperature, never time.
Right. So when people ask how long it's going to take, we always say it takes as long as it takes until... It takes as long as it takes. Now, you can approximate... Go ahead. You can approximate by the weight of the roast. So if I want medium rare, which is my goal, medium rare, never medium well or well done. So of the 7-pound roast, I'll approximate 22 to 23 minutes per pound. So that should get me around 2.5 hours, maybe a little more. Are you using any internal thermometers in the roast while you're cooking?
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say that is so important. If you're going to spend that kind of money on a piece of meat, make sure you have a really good digital thermometer, some type of internal probe. I use a thermopen. I hear Santa maybe bringing me a meter pen for Christmas, which is what I want with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I know that you talked about one earlier today that you have that you recommend. Mm-hmm.
That's an instant read thermometer. But are you gonna be using one that stays in the thing while you're cooking?
Yeah.
It, though? Okay.
Yes. I do have. We'll have an internal probe as well.
Okay. What brand do you use? Is it the ThermalWorks? Is it like the Dot or is it the?
It is. I'm sorry. It's the ThermalWorks.
Okay. Yeah. And I've got the. I think it's the. I mean, Heath uses the same one I've got. Heath Riles. I think it's the Master Chef. I think it's called. Or it's got all sorts of little gizmos on it. But Trish, I think
I've heard of that, but I
think it's very important. I think it's one of the most important things. Earlier today, when I was telling people about you being on the show, I talked about the thermometer being probably the most important tool a person in barbecue can have, because it's a tenderness game. Barbecue is, and it's a temperature game. Time is just not important in barbecue, whether you're cooking hot and fast or low and slow. It's just not. You can't cook at time. You have to cook to temperature. And you're going to put your prime rib, 3 pounds, 7 pounds, 3 ribs. You're going to put it in your Traeger pellet smoker at 250 degrees, and you're going, and you've already got your butter. Are you cooking it on a pan or directly on the grates?
I'm going to cook it directly on the grate. I'm going to make sure I have a pan underneath it to collect the drippings.
Okay.
So I can make my au jus or my gravy. My mother used to take the drippings and always make Yorkshire pudding, if you've ever done that. That's
I do it all the
kind
time.
Of a neat
Doesn't
thing
everybody?
To go on. Do you? Okay.
I don't. I don't even know what Yorkshire pudding is.
Okay. Ha ha. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And when my meat gets to 120, then I'm going to take it off for a few minutes, let it rest a bit, crank the grill up to probably 425, and then do a sear. Probably about, shouldn't take any more than 10 to 15 minutes. Rotate it a little bit, and when it gets to 130, then I'll take it off.
Okay, that's
and
the
I'll put
that's the magic. That's the magical. That's going to be the magical. We'll say the magical 15-minute window in doing a perfect prime rib. 250 degrees on the pellet cooker. She's going to monitor the temperature. Then Trish is going to take it up to 120 degrees. I think you said, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then explain this reverse sear, what you're actually doing on a reverse sear for everybody, because this is a neat thing that I've never done on one, and I may want to try this.
Well, if you want the crusty exterior, it's easier if you do it in the beginning. Then your meat is probably going to dry out as you cook. So it's easier to do the low and slow, keep that meat tender, and then at the end just do. You know what I'm saying? Crank the heat up and, let it get that crusty exterior, and that's just basically a reverse sear.
So you're gonna stand the rib roast up on its one end and let it sizzle, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna flip it.
Okay, and then you're gonna turn it
but
over.
I'll still have the bones in, so I really won't have to flip it that much. If you have it boneless, then you'll have to make sure you rotate it.
Yeah. So you're actually gonna just move the rib roast around on the grates rather. And they're going to be super hot, and it should be like you're just going to singe the outside of it. And then what temperature are you looking for doing that?
Probably around 425
on the grill. But what about the meat?
Oh, I'm sorry. The meat, when it comes to 130, then I'll take it off.
Okay.
And then I'll put a loose tint on it, and then let it rest. I probably wouldn't go any more than 20 minutes. And it'll probably already be up to 135 by that point, which is my cutoff.
That was going to be my next question. What is the target? And you think it will raise only 5 degrees then, right?
Yeah, and when you're tinting your meat, make sure that you don't wrap it up tight, because if you do, then you just retain more heat in there, and it's just going to keep cooking. So you don't want to do that.
So
I've made that mistake
before. If we were doing a bunch of prime ribs, and and we pulled them at 120, and instead of reverse searing them, we just went ahead and wrapped them right up. Would you think they would rise to 130 to 135 in a cooler situation?
Yeah, you're not gonna you're gonna lose your crust, but it depends on what you want. Yeah, it'll come up.
That's interesting.
If you're not worried about having a crusty exterior, I might leave it on a little longer than 120. Maybe like 128, 125, something like that.
All right, that's good advice. We're going to take our last break, Trish. You hang on. You're listening to the Barbecue Show here on Talk Radio 102.3 WGOW with our special guest and rib roast expert, Trish Hines from Tampa, Florida. And we'll be right back. So stay with us on the Barbecue Show here on Talk Radio, the Talk Monster.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra brings Christmas Eve and other stories directly into your home.
Trish, I don't think people, that's if they've never done a prime rib at that last, at the last part when you're hitting 120, you start to what do you do with the rib roast? Do you take it off the cooker and let it sit while you get the grill temperature up to 425?
Right.
Okay, so just let it sit there.
Exactly,
you don't have to do anything special to it.
Nope.
Because this is an expensive piece of meat. We don't want we don't want anybody to have any question. We want to know exactly what to. So you just take it and set it aside, right?
Yes.
And then crank the thing up.
Loosely cover it.
Okay, just loosely cover
it. And so if you've got a pellet smoker, it shouldn't take that long to get your temperature up.
No, it doesn't. It'll be up there in probably 5 minutes. Which model do you have?
I have the Pro 34.
How big is that one? 34-inch?
It's big. Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of the bigger ones.
Okay. I tell you, the pellet cookers are fantastic. We sell the Green Mountain grills, and they are just they're just unbelievable. So easy to use.
I bet you sell a lot of those too.
Yeah, we do. We've done real well with them.
Good.
But I mean the whole pellet scheme though. I'm not talking about product to product. I'm talking about the entire method of using a pellet cooker is so it makes it so easy. And
it does. You don't have to be a pit master to run a pellet smoker.
Right.
It's more user friendly.
Yeah, I tell people that if they don't care about learning any fire management, which nowadays most people don't want to learn fire management. They just want to cook good food for their family and not have to spend looking at a smoker overnight, which weirdos like us really like to do for some reason. But there's nothing like looking at your smoker at 4 o'clock in the morning going, wow, this is great. I wish I was in bed.
How many good times have you had staying up all night long watching the smoker?
Very few.
It's a lot of fun.
Well,
your friends out there? Or?
Not at 4 though. Maybe I had a lot of fun from 11 to 1, but.
Gotcha.
But we used to stay up all night, but we don't anymore. We learned a little. We learned fire management and pit management.
Right.
Well, I can't wait to try that butter. That butter thing. That's going to be a neat. I'm going to try that for sure.
Yeah, just like a compound butter. Whatever you want to put in it.
So
be creative.
Do you smash it up like into a compound or is it still kind of a pasty?
Well, you let the butter soften.
Yeah, right.
You let the butter soften and then you mix everything in.
Mm-hmm.
If I was going to be fancy and wanted to use it for presentation, then I would roll it in plastic and turn it into a roll. But since I'm just going to slather it on this beef, then I don't need to worry about that. I just need to whip it all together.
Al Selvage had a good question. Rotisserie. I never thought about that. But how good would that be? A prime rib on a rotisserie.
I'm sure that would be good.
You'd probably be better to cook it with
Emergency Radio
no
with
bone.
Newsmax Magazine. Go to gettheradio.com. That's gettheradio.com.
15 seconds. We'll only have about
Newsmax. That's 800 Newsmax.
3.5 minutes when we come back. Okay,
could
so we're
save your life. This offer
it
may end
okay.
soon, so order today.
Talk Radio 102.3 FM, the Talk Monster.
Welcome back to the Barbecue Show. This is Steve Ray, our guest Trish Hines from Tampa, Florida, of SASSY Q Barbecue and the local Tampa area rib roast expert. Okay, we've seared off the rib roast, and we've got it under the tent, and everybody is gathering at the table, setting their wine glasses down, putting heaps of mashed potatoes and green beans on their plates, waiting for Trish to bring in the center of attention, this 3-bone rib roast. How are we going to cut this thing now, Trish? Because that's as important as cooking it, is how we're going to cut it with those bones and everything. What are you going to do with those bones? And how are you going to carve this thing up?
In my roast, the bones have been removed and tied back on.
Right.
So that makes it easier to carve.
Okay.
So, I'm going to take it off, put the meat on the platter, put the bones aside, save them, to make a stock or something like, with soup stock or something like that. Just depends on how many people you're serving and how you want to slice it up. Everybody who wants something a little more done gets the end pieces, and those of us who like it medium rare or however you like it are going for the middle.
Now, those bones, there'll be a lot of meat on those bones when you take them off. Do you think
there'll be some? That's what.
You have any carnivores there that'll like to nibble on those things?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You can just nibble on it, or you can put it in your gravy and get some of the meat, or like I said, use a stock, and that way you can get, some of the marrow will come out of the bone as well and add some more flavor to your stock.
Now, when you got your prime rib, did you have the butcher cut the bones off, or did you do it?
I had the butcher do it. It's really easy to do yourself. It was just a time saver to have them do that for me.
Yeah. And plus, you've got to.
If you've got a good fillet knife and just go along the bone, and it's just easy peasy.
But then you got to tie it back on too, though. And that's
yes, you do.
And that's if you've never tied anything, a piece of meat. It's a little. I mean, it's not super hard, but it's
not. But there's lots of videos on YouTube or Google or whatever. Just look it up, and there's plenty of things out there to show you what you need to know if you want to do it yourself.
But I like that. I like. Thanks, Kurt. I like the whole method you just gave us, Trish. To recap, make sure when you pick out the meat, Trish got prime, but you can get choice. It's your. I guess picking out the meat is probably your biggest choice, whether how much you want to spend. And the prep is very important with the salt that Trish went over, and of course I think the end. Anything you cook at the end, Trish, or anything you cook, the end of the cook is the most important, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I do. And the beauty of the prime rib is as elegant as a roast as it is. I think it's really simple to do. All you have to make sure is that you just don't overcook it. A lot of people just want salt and pepper.
Yeah.
A little olive oil and salt and pepper, and they're quite happy with that, and it's delicious either way.
1 minute.
All right, real good. Trish Hines, thank you so much for joining us here on the Barbecue Show. Where can people reach you and reach out to you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at SassyQBBQ, also on Facebook. If you'd like to send me an email, it's sassyqbbq@gmail.com. You can see our website, sassyqbbq.com, and we're actually running a special this month for Christmas.
So if you are not in the Ooltewah, Chattanooga area, but you want to order, you can order online your line of rubs and sauces. Absolutely.
15 seconds.
Trish Hines, thank you so much. You stay with us for the end of the Facebook show, okay? Everybody, thank you for listening here on WGOW, Talk Radio 102.3, to the Barbecue Show. We'll be back next Friday night, where we'll be talking pizza with America's pizza expert, Matt Frampton.
Georgia football.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Trish, you did wonderful.
Thank you.
That was so much fun.
It was great to be here.
I can't wait to try the. I hope my partner Frank Blair was listening tonight, so I hope Frank's been listening and gives him some ideas for the butter bath, for the prime ribs that we'll be doing. I think that's doable. Doing 20 ribs. I don't think doing 20 butter wraps would be that difficult of a task. Do you?
No, not at all.
No. See, Frank could do that too. He's got a lot of time on his hands because he's off the rest of the
Uh-oh, Frank.
Steve, our friend Steve Jordan.
Well,
go ahead.
How did your prime rib turn out the other night? I saw that you smoked.
Oh, it was good. It was, nothing fancy. I don't know enough to make it extra special like I do now since talking with you. But it was just a 4-bone. I did the same thing with the bones. Had the butcher cut them off, then tie them back on, and it was good. It was really good. We had a lot of good reviews on it. Took it to work, gave it to the guys. Made a lot of prime rib biscuits for some people. Gave those out in the morning.
Nice.
Yeah, could you imagine coming to the gas station getting a prime rib biscuit? How cool would that be?
I buy gas there every day.
I mixed up a real neat. This is how much I don't know about cooking. I thought I want to make a real neat sauce for this, so I got some horseradish sauce, and then I had some stone ground mustard. I said I'm going to mix these things up, so I took half and half, mixed up the horseradish with the mustard, and I said now I need something sweet, so I got Butcher Barbecue. David just came out with a real neat rub. It's called Maple. It's super sweet, almost like crystallized brown sugar. With some other ingredients in. So I put that maple rub in there real heavy, mixed it all up in a little bowl, and put it on the biscuits. And everybody said, oh, the sauce was great. And then the next day I went to the store looking for some more horseradish, and guess what I saw? Horseradish with mustard. I thought I had invented it. And it was already
I've never seen that.
Yeah. I mean, it was they had rows.
That was a thing.
They had rows and rows and rows of it with different, like 5 different manufacturers of it. Horseradish and mustard. So I thought I'd really captured the imagination, and then, like everything I do, somebody's already come up. I thought I invented fried leftover mashed potatoes the other night until I put it on Facebook, and everybody was so quick to point out that I did not invent that they've been eating it since they were children. So, such is my cooking career.
I do not want fried mashed potatoes. I like just mashed potatoes.
They're fried. They're pretty good.
A little cream cheese and throw some cream cheese and butter and whip them up, and yum.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Trish, thank you so much for being on the show. You were great. Everybody loved listening to you.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. We'll get you on again. And have a good Merry Christmas down there in Tampa. And good luck on that prime rib. Make sure you post some pictures on social media so we can all check them out, please.
Absolutely will.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, Merry Christmas to all you guys.
Thanks, Trish, so much. Everybody here on Facebook, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We sure appreciate it. Don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram, here on Facebook, on YouTube. All the shows go on YouTube, and we post some bonus content there as well. Please like our channel and hit that bell, and we sure would appreciate that. And you can also hear this broadcast again on podcast, starting. We'll have it posted tomorrow. All the back episodes of the barbecue show and the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show on Facebook are there on YouTube and on podcast. Until next Friday, Matt Frampton is going to be with us next Friday. He is America's pizza expert. We'll be talking pizza, all kinds, Neapolitan, deep dish, grilled pizzas. Matt he's fascinating, and you will love listening to Matt and me. Get your questions ready for the Pizza Guy next Friday night. That's Matt Frampton. Until then, everybody, please drive safely over the weekend. And as we always say, good night and good luck.